CTC TV is designed to bring expert to educate us to grow our business. And I would like to tell you, if you are attending, but in case if you cannot attend it, this webinar is going to be recorded and posted on our website. All attendees are on a listen-only mode right now. On the bottom of your GoToWebinar screen, you will see a questionnaire section. You can ask a question, and our guest and myself are going to be here until we answer any question that you have. So feel free to ask a question anytime. Our today's topic is 5 steps to effectively market our practice. Tasha Prince is here to educate us. Let me introduce Tasha. She has 15 years of internet marketing experience, as well as 5 years of healthcare internet marketing experience. So she's here. Welcome, Tasha.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Tasha Prince, and I am the owner and operator of Orlando Medical Marketing. And for the last 5 years, I've developed a test and true marketing strategy for practices just like yourself to help you get ahead of your competition and gain practice visibility. So after the webinar today, I'll be available for your questions, and let's begin. Okay, with 80% of patients turning to the web to find health-related information, it is a no-brainer where the majority of your marketing efforts should be spent. These 5 effective steps to market your practice will help you be found by prospect patients, and it will create an online presence for your practice. Let's start with step 1. Creating a practice website. How many of you out there have a practice website? And we will be sending a poll question for you to answer that later. And how many of you have a practice website, but it's outdated and it's not a true reflection of your practice? There are the 3 most important components to a website are the following. How does your website look? Does it have an attractive look and feel? How does your website communicate information? Is it easy to find basic information, like contact information or office hours? And last, does the content convert new patients? So many times the content that is provided on a physician's website is long, lengthy, and really doesn't have any kind of call to action. We're not asking these patients to call and book a consultation or a appointment with the physician. So we want to try to focus on our content on the website as well, not just the look and feel.
So Tasha, let's ask people that if they have a website or not, so we get to see what kind of audience that we have.
Okay, great.
Okay, so if you can, please just select yes or no and hit submit. That way we will get to get the poll, how many audience here have a website.
Okay, great. And while you fill that out, for those practices that do have a website but it's outdated, it's been a long time since you've added new photos or content especially, I do recommend that physicians start from scratch. Oftentimes, it can be more costly to redo your website than it is to actually start from scratch and get a new look and feel.
Oh, the beauty is 100% of our audience have a website.
Oh, good. Well, that's great. Well, the main focus is that we want to make sure that it's up to date, it looks good, and that it's actually working. It's converting patients to the practice. So let's go ahead and click through and show here. Let's go back one slide. Okay, here you'll see a practice website, and you will notice to the right of the website you will see a mobile device here. So we want to ask ourselves, not only is our website up to date, but is it mobile friendly? There are so many changes going on with the internet, and one is that the majority of consumers are turning to mobile devices, iPads, tablets, to access information on the go. So we want to make sure that your website can render down to a nice and attractive look and feel like you can see here on the phone, to make sure that it has like the click-to-call feature, so they can just click the phone number and it calls on their mobile device automatically versus having them to then enter it into the phone keypad. So mobile-friendly devices, mobile-friendly websites rather, are increasingly important, And the click-to-call feature and things like that are very helpful for your patients.
And let me may add that
Sure.
when Tasha talks about the mobile friendly, it doesn't mean that we can open our website on the mobile devices or not. It's a special code that you have to make that aligns your website accordingly. As we see a picture of an iPhone, see exact layout, but it's completely different.
Yeah, what it does is it actually renders down to a smaller version. So, for instance, the family photo here is no longer, and that's really not the important thing on a mobile device. So it renders down and keeps the information concise and in one small location. So it takes away the extra features that aren't needed to see on a mobile phone.
It is very, very important.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next slide, which is choosing a domain name. And for those of you that, I guess pretty much you all have a website, so you already have a domain name, but it's never too late to change a domain name. But why are domain names important? And choosing your domain name is important because you want to find a domain name that has a keyword within your domain name. For instance, I work with a local plastic surgeon, and one of his key services is the Botox anti-aging side of his practice. And so a way to dominate a highly concentrated market such as Botox, we decided to purchase the domain name www.botoxorlando. And this has shot him up to #1 on Google just by his selection of domain name. So it's a really great thing.
Yeah, and also what I want to add is what Tasha means #1 is we spend a lot of money on SEO, and Tasha can tell us more what the SEO is. Is Google, when you hit search for anything, it has hundreds of pages of results.
Yes.
But what's important is majority of users only see first page.
Yes, they usually do not click to the second page. So what we do is the main thing is we want to focus on getting physicians onto the top spots of Google to allow the patients to find them quickly and to convert into a lifetime patient. So by getting the first spot on Google is an amazing thing. So choosing the right domain name can help you get to #1 on Google with very little cost.
And tell us a little more about what is SEO.
SEO is search engine optimization, and basically it is a broad spectrum of things, but it's really being able to keyword, use the right words, descriptions on your website so that you can show for the most popular searches. So if you're a dentist, you want to enter all your dental keywords. You want to be able to be found for Best Dentist or Dentist Orlando or Miami Dentist. And not just those main keywords, but you want to be found for all of your services as well. So this will keep you with your services just retaining new patients and raising your revenues.
And if I know it, SEO, normally people pay hundreds of dollars every month.
It's very costly. It can be. There's a lot of SEO tricks that don't work, and it's big business. But there are some really effective tips. Like, and we are literally going over the 5 tips today that can help save practices lots of money. These 5 steps will make you increase your visibility, getting #1 on Google, for instance. So starting with a domain name, you can get these as low as $1.99. And I recommend buying as many as you can. Even if you're not going to use them, buy them, store them, save them in your GoDaddy account. It prevents your competition from having access to them. So it really can keep people from getting ahead of yourself. Please, try to stay true to the .coms. I know a lot of people want to use the .biz, the .mds, but I really just don't think the search relevancy is there yet. So try to stay true to a .com. Don't be afraid to use your practice name, but keep it clear and concise. And don't be afraid to use your actual location. That will help you dominate your local search. Yeah. And then you spend all this time getting your domain name, so you don't want to lose it. So even if the practices that currently have a domain name, make sure you log into your GoDaddy account periodically and check the payment. Make sure that you're on an auto-renew system so that you don't avoid interruption. You don't want to lose it once you got it.
Right, and it's to give you, all the audience, little background about GoDaddy. GoDaddy is a registrar. You could have something else as well. But what Tasha's talking about, a lot of times, we have staff changing, management changing, and we don't have some kind of alert that would alert, okay, the reminder is coming up for renewal. And what it is once the domain name is not renewed, 30 days after it gets expired, and it
Yes.
goes back to the market for somebody else to buy it. And there are many lawyers and firms out there to attract this kind of
Yes.
things, and then once you lose it, you have to pay a lot of money to get it back.
Well, domain names is business on its own. People spend their entire business on just buying, trading, selling, stealing of sorts, these domain names. So please take the time to protect your domain name, and you will save a lot of headache. So as you see here, just make sure that also it's hooked to your bank account information versus maybe your current administrator's credit card. Admins, unfortunately, they come and go at times, and we want to make sure that the credit card, when it gets disabled or inactivated, that you don't lose your payment option there.
And we don't change our bank account that much.
Yeah, exactly. So make the domain names, like I said, clear and easy to remember, and you'll be in good shape. So let's go ahead and review step 2, social media, social engagement. This is so important for those of you that have joined the social media world. Good job, and I will help you sort of formulate that a little bit clearer. But for those of you that haven't, I'd like to really encourage you to take the step moving forward with the social media so that you can attract new patients and you can be a part of the 800 million people that are currently using Facebook.
And let's find out how many people have a business social media website. Let's put a poll and let's see.
Okay, and while you wait for that to come up, there you go. There's your question there. Just go ahead and answer yes or no and submit your poll. And I'll give you just a few really interesting statistics. 56% of Americans have a social media profile, so that's more than half of our country. And 800 million of them, like I mentioned, they have Facebook profiles alone. 23% of Facebook users check their account 5 or more times a day. So as you can see, we want to go where the people are, and it is very clear that people are on social media today waiting for your engagement. So there we go, and we'll just go on to this next slide here. And as you see here, you can see an example of a practice Facebook page here on the right side. And this is a dentist, and you see his cover profile page of himself looking very friendly, and his little business page is set up nicely, and he can engage with his patients at checkout, and make sure to join us on social media. We'd love to see you there. So we definitely think that this is a great second step in effectively marketing your practice. As you see below here, here's an example of a Facebook post that would be relevant for this type of industry. Tap water equals decay prevention. You can choose all kinds of things like contest or engaging them to leave a testimonial about your practice. You can choose a staff member of the month to highlight their dedication. So there's all kinds of wonderful things that we can incorporate into your social media to make it friendly, not too salesy, but just get the visibility that we need for patients to remember us. So if they're at their desk, they're checking their Facebook, they happen to have a toothache that day and they see this gentleman's post, they are most likely going to call him versus somebody else they haven't seen in a while. So there's a lot of social media outlets out there. It's a little overwhelming, quite frankly. My suggestion, stick to the 3 basic ones that I know will make a difference in your practice. That's Facebook, Google+, and YouTube. And we will review a few of a little bit more in detail with the other social media outlets in a minute.
And actually, that's a good point. You picked the dentist because I'm on Facebook, of course, and I'm not one of the 23%. I go on Facebook more than 5 times a day.
Yes, we're all a little
But I
addicted, aren't we?
remember our friends were talking about one of the dentists locally that they posted on Facebook that they are buying back candies to prevent any disease for small kids.
That's so
and
great.
That word spread so
Well,
much.
yeah, it's just a neat way, and it costs nothing. We spend so much money on marketing marketing and print try to attract patients back to our office. It's free to simply post and put a piece of information out there. Something like that is so great to engage people that they're really concerned with their patients' health.
And it's amazing. Look, I'm talking today on this webinar, and I'm
Right.
telling other people too. So,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
this
It goes
word-
viral. It goes
Exactly.
viral.
You don't know how far it can go. Smallest thing, we see it on a Facebook that has 1 million likes and 2 million likes. That means 2 million people actually liked it, but that doesn't mean how many people saw it.
Right.
It could be even more than
Oh,
2 million.
absolutely. Absolutely. So you really have nothing to lose by not, and you have a lot to lose if you don't.
Don't.
So let's move on to the next step here, and this is using video to grow your practice. So some of you may have already created some type of office virtual tour, or maybe you have a video that is highlighting one of the services or surgical techniques that you offer. We can definitely use that to increase your practice visibility. And the reason why video is so important is, you know, consumers tend to have a little bit of ADD these days with searching online, and I'm you know, one of them. I want the information now. I want it right in front of me, and if it's not, you know, like we talked about earlier on the first page of Google, I'm going to look somewhere else for it. So what we found is content is king, but it can often be overwhelming. So patients now, and consumers rather, are looking for a visual aid. And since Google owns YouTube, they play very well together by offering people that have a YouTube video higher placement on Google. So once again, there is search engine optimization value here. It's not just a video. It has multiple uses in your strategy. So
let's find out how many people have a practice video. We have it. I know it took a while to make one.
And you know, they don't have to be so hard. They have to be well executed. But don't be afraid to have your staff do one in office. You can have a professional create a video for you for around $500 to $2,000. But really, you want to stay with a quick video, 2 to 3 minutes tops, highlighting the practice and going over some of the, and just really introducing the physician, putting a face to the physician's name and things like
And
that.
nowadays, all the iPhones and Android phone has a good video camera. We can just use that.
Absolutely.
And it's easy to upload it on
It
YouTube
is.
too.
So it doesn't have to be costly, but it is important. And a lot of times medical reps are able to offer you some stock video, and then we can just add some personalization to it, and you can use that. So there's lots of benefits that we just went over, and you can see those here if you want to just read them quickly. But really, one video has multiple uses. You can use it in your office waiting room on just a very quiet, continuous loop. You can add it to your YouTube channel, of course, your Google Plus business profile, which we'll go over, which is very important. And we can link it to your new Facebook page that we've just talked about. And we can also use it at Lunch and Learns and future events. So you can use this video for multiple purposes, and when you sort of take those uses into consideration, the video is not as costly as it sounds at first.
Yeah, and amazingly, it's only 20% of our guests today as a video.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. You know, video is a new thing. I mean, it's more and more increasingly important. We will see that you will need a video or else type of mentality. So it's never too early to get ahead of the trend and start, you know, creating a video for your practice and getting it out there above your competition. And the reason is because the older the video is, the more concrete the local listing will be for it. So as your competition adds a video for the same procedure, competing procedure, you will actually stay in the first location. That's important to know. So, and it's manageable. The cool thing is you can see how many views you get.
Exactly.
So it's like instant ROI. I mean, they may not convert right away, but you can see that people are actually enjoying what you're putting out there on your channel. So,
and it could be very quick, like you mentioned, showing people how your waiting room looks like, or how your exam room looks like.
Yes,
or
absolutely.
Even your office staff, what kind of culture you have, that also helps.
Yes, and you can actually create a very easy video and PowerPoint, believe it or not, and you can then have just a snippet of maybe the doctor talking briefly that you can edit into that. so that you can have a really, easy video. If you don't have the budget to spend on it, I can give you exact ways to make it affordable for your practice and even do it yourself type video, but still making sure that it's classy and it's a strong representation.
Actually, a good idea that I just came up with. Our physicians hands out a lot of patient education.
Mm-hmm.
They could have a quick, small video that they can post it on their Facebook, YouTube, or their website and tell patients to go there.
Yes.
And not only they would see it, but they would tell other people.
Yes.
Versus the paper trail now is going away.
Right.
So the paper might go in the garbage next day.
Mm-hmm. And adding these videos to your website that you already have or may not have are so important because it will link to your YouTube channel. So not only are these viewers watching your video online, but they're asked then to go to your website and learn more. You link all of these components together for a strong foundation. You will increase your visibility. It's tried and true.
Wow.
So our next slide here is your practice visibility. Once again, it's all about getting in front of these patients, giving them the opportunity to choose you. So don't blend in with the crowd and stand out in front of your competition. And let's review a few of those things. So more than 80%, like we've talked about, that's a big number here today, is healthcare search is being done online. They are searching for doctor reviews. They want to make sure they're choosing the best doctor for their upcoming procedure or treatment or just primary care. Researching the symptoms and treatments. A lot of consumers online are trying to self-diagnose at first before they choose a physician. So we want to be able to identify and be found under symptoms and treatments as well. And once again, they're just searching for this right physician. You will see here that there are three main search engines that I tell my physicians and practices to focus on, and we want to focus on Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Obviously, Google being the king here, but it's just, and how we're going to go about increasing your practice visibility on these three main search sites are the 3 steps that we've talked about previously, and then let's go to the next slide and talk about paid advertising on Google. Some of you have heard PPC, paid click advertising, Google Ads, and if you look here on this circle up top here, these paid ads in slightly the yellow location here, I'm sure just in your own search, searching for whatever product, you've seen these locations of the ads. So this allows physicians and practices get in front of the competition without having to, let's say, wait for the natural search. So if you just brought on a new procedure and you're trying to really get some prospect patients for it, but you don't have the time that's going to take to get on the first page of Google naturally, this is the way to do it. You can set up an account, or obviously you would have a marketing company set up an account for you, a PPC account. They would tie in your keywords and they would create a very special ad for you that has a call to action. Double board certified, or call today for your complimentary consultation. And you would use the keywords that you're trying to, the services that you're trying to sell, and you would have it right here. And this would allow patients to find you quickly and for very low money. So for as low as $1 a click, you could target to your very specific audience and get the first clicks on Google. So this is a really great way to just increase your practice visibility and to be found for less than $1.
That's great. And also, I wanted to, I don't know,
Maybe
we already covered it
huh?
or in the next one about the review, but the Google Plus review are posted on Google page, and
Yeah.
it's highly ranked.
See, what people are trying all new ways of writing an ad. So you can do the standard ad, family physician, double board certified, geriatric and bariatric, click to learn more here, or you do create an ad that says 32 online reviews, proven best physician in the local area.
Wow.
Click to learn more. And instead of even driving them straight to your website, which is once they click the ad, they would then go to a secondary site, you can push them to that Google Plus page we were talking about. They're going to see real online reviews of patients that are just thrilled with your service. Trust me, they will convert.
And the beauty is for the review, and we're going to be talking about in the future about that too, but the Google does not copy review from other websites, but other websites do copy from the Google.
Well, it's a little different, but what Google does is there's two ways. On your Google Plus page, patients actually have to have a Google account, a Gmail account. They go to this business page and they fill out a review, and then it is posted. Yes, other websites like CitySearch and Yelp, and they can then take those reviews and send them out to other online directories so that your online review can be placed in multiple places. So yes, it really goes viral, if
right,
you will.
But those are not control. Here you have to have identity to post the actual
Yes,
review.
and we are so grateful for that because, listen, you can have the best doctor in the world, and unfortunately there will always be a patient that isn't always perfectly happy, and oftentimes they can leave a negative review. And this allows us to not only flag a negative review, but let Google know if maybe there is some untruth statements. So it really is a nice, friendly review site. I'm not sure if some of you know Vitals or Yelp.com, but they tend to be sort of negative. They tend to highlight the negative reviews versus the positive reviews. And I feel that, and it's pretty much true, that Google Plus is equal. It's a fair review site, and that's why we really want to target that site and allow our patients to stay concentrated on what's true and fair.
And we all know that the upset patient is more likely to post a review than happy
Unfortunately.
patient.
Unfortunately, but there are ways around it, and with brand management, and we're going to be having an upcoming webinar in January. I'll be hosting it to review that with you then, so look for that. But until then, just stay true to Google+. And we're going to go to the next slide here. Patient retention. So the first 4 steps have been about, creating this foundation for patients to find us, increasing our visibility, and, spending quite the effort on getting new patients to come to our practice. So patient retention is step 5, and the key to loyal and patient recommendations and referrals are constant and relevant communication. So what we want to do is, now we spend all this time and energy getting a new patient, let's keep them. We don't want them to go anywhere else, and we surely don't want them to go to our competition. So we would all love it if our patients felt unyieldingly loyal to us, and they just sent us lots of referrals, and that does happen. We find that 20% of our practice gets referrals from existing patients or even other physician referrals. So we want to keep that momentum going, keep the bread and butter of our practice, if you will, consistent. And so we're gonna review the next slide here, and this will show us the 3 ways that I suggest doing that, and they're pretty simple. When you're on the phone with a with a patient, and you're setting an appointment over the phone, ask that patient, with some enthusiasm. That's key. You really want to have a little bit of pep in your step when you're asking them for another piece of information. But ask the patient to join the patient newsletter mailing list. Let them know that you'd love to email them an appointment reminder, and offer them online patient paperwork because they will have shorter waiting times in the waiting room. So just by giving them that extra little service, you're getting that email address from the patient. And that is really key on being able to keep them with consistent and relevant communication. And we'll review that in just a minute. But secondly, in the office, when patients are filling out that intake patient paperwork, invite them to join your newly created Care to Share program. And I always tell my physicians, this is such a simple thing to do, and it really makes the patient feel important. It makes them, just really want to share what you're doing with your practice. So look at this right-hand corner here, Share a Smile, Dr. David Jones, a $50 credit. Now, some of our practices, this isn't going to be exactly what we can or cannot do. Maybe we need to offer them just a little extra something onto a service, or a complimentary consultation, or a trial skincare, whatever you need that sort of incentive to be. But say, listen, here, take this card, share it with a friend, share it with a family member, and as a thank you, we will give you just a little something. It doesn't have to be much, but it's just a way of saying we appreciate you taking the time to share the practice with other people. So lastly is email deployment. And we all know on a daily basis how important our emails are, and it's very cost effective to send an email versus print media or something else. So sending a monthly email to your patient database will increase your patient retention, and it will keep you fresh in their minds, and it will just yield a more patient loyalty. So we'll go on to this next slide here, and we'll sort of talk about oh, sorry, one second. We'll just sort of I'll give you some ideas really quick of some email deployment. You could do a monthly newsletter. You could create a contest. You could engage these patients to leave an online review on that Google Plus page we talked about. So there's all kinds of really great ways we can send some information out to them to get them to be just loyal to us.
Right, and also the Meaningful Stage 2 that's coming out. All the physicians are going to be offering the patient portal.
Yes.
And the login for patient portal
Yes.
requires a patient email address. So the bigger database that you have, the better it is. And as you mentioned, there are companies like in the market like you who can build the monthly newsletters for them.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to be
Yes,
specialized.
and we know that our administrators are busy, bless their hearts. They have so much going on, and our practices are hopefully very busy. So we create a very simple newsletter template that it can be very plug and play, so that the admin, if they want to personalize their own newsletter, they can. If not, we create and deliver it as a finished product, and we even deploy it on their behalf. So each practice is unique, and we help them by offering a free marketing forecast that we'll go over in just a minute, but we can help you figure out what the best method for you is. So this doesn't necessarily have to be one more thing you have to do. It just has to be something that we'll want to consider setting somebody up into place to do so that we can increase our patient retention.
Yeah, because sending postcards, those doesn't work these days because
Right.
personally myself, I don't check my mails. Probably my wife does.
Right.
And she throws all the garbage
Right.
and just
Yeah,
filters
well, we're
only
inundated.
the bills to me. But
And depending on what type of practice you have, it may not work for you.
yeah.
I mean, you have to be able to mail, if you're a surgeon of a reconstructive surgeon, you have to be able to mail someone that needs reconstructive surgery. So there may be, it may just not be a good fit for you. But if it is a patient that's already had surgery with you and you want to send them an email, you can be talking about restorative health or stem cell therapy or something else that may be relevant for them in a later time. So vitamins to support joint health, something like that. So you're able to very, efficiently get good information to them.
And sending emails out costs close to nothing.
Close to nothing. And, reports do show online, if you do a little research, I mean, it has a wonderful ROI. It really does. It's easy. It's visual. Again, they want the visual touch. And it's quick and easy, and we do find that patients do convert and stay loyal to practices that engage in email deployment.
Definitely.
So we're going to go to our next slide here, and this is just a review. So, basically it's create that interactive practice website for those of you that have one. Take a look at it today when you're done with the webinar and say, oh yeah, it really is good, or oh, I really don't like that. Put yourself in a place of a patient and feel and look at your website as though you are wanting to look and convert into a procedure. So would you convert? Secondly, engage in social media. Don't get left behind. Start small. Do these three social media outlets first, and start engaging your patients online. It cannot hurt, and it will only be a benefit for you. 3, create a practice video, short and sweet, but get your practice out there and secure a place on YouTube and in your local listing. 4, increase your practice visibility through whether it's pay per click or just 1 through 3. Those 3 first steps will also help you with number 4. And 5, focus on your patient retention. Get a part and do a part of email marketing and reach out to your patients. And, with it being November, just for instance, you could send out a really great email, very small, that says, we're thankful for you. We're thankful for you being a patient of ours, for just, coming in and having us treat you, or just for contacting us in the past. We're really thankful for you, and, you are the patient that helps us stay busy. So we thank you for that. So how simple and how nice. What a nice gesture. So these are our 5 effective steps to marketing. And yeah, go ahead.
If I may add to all of them, See, the number one, she's talking about website, and all the audiences, they do have a website. And as a Computex City, we also have a website too. But the best way to know how effective your website is just do internal survey. Ask your staff, how do they think, or look at your competition and see if you are one step ahead of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The second one was engaging in social media. If you don't have a social media page right now, I would even skip the lunch and
yeah, no eating today, folks.
At least get that name on Google Plus and Facebook as well as YouTube, because you never know, at 2 o'clock today somebody may take that name.
Absolutely.
Even if it's empty page, still just register and get that name to you so nobody else takes that. And about the video, like I mentioned, if you have a patient who comes in and says they are really happy, doctor took care of me, just ask the patient, can you take 30 seconds and take your phone out and just record
capture
a
that
small
patient
video.
testimonial. Testimonials are king, and they want to see it visually because, unfortunately, they're not sure if we made up our own testimonials online.
Exactly.
So the patient testimonial on video is wonderful.
Wonderful. And we can put that everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was going to go to the next one, exactly same thing, visibility-wise. You know, put those videos on the Google Plus page. And I personally think the Google was one of the first email company who offered the highest space. So now I think on the free email server-wise, majority of people do have a Google account.
Yes.
So
Gmail is becoming where they're going to eventually make you have one, or you can't play.
Exactly.
So time to set up a Gmail account for your practice. If you do not have one, go ahead and secure a Gmail account as well.
Exactly. And if most likely the patient would have a Gmail account, ask them if they can leave you a review online.
Absolutely.
Offer them a computer to do that for you.
I find a lot of my patients, or my practices rather, are starting to have iPads at checkout. So they have an iPad on a nice little stand that says, take the time to review. And while they're being checked out, or while they're waiting, or even in the patient lobby, hand them a patient pad, hand them an iPad and say, if you wouldn't mind, take a look at this. So those are just other ways that we can set up something very specific to your practice that really works within your facility. But it is my hope today that I've shed some light on 5 steps that we can do to make your marketing strategy more effective. But we do understand that practices are busy, and you may not have somebody that's able to sort of take these 5 steps and run with it.
And thank you, Tasha. I was talking with Tasha before the webinar that I know a lot of the information that she has given to us today is going to be very, very helpful to our attendees. And I was able to convince her that anybody who is interested, she said, I can do it to the first 10 people, offer the good price to build a website, as well as she's offering the free setup for social media page. Not only that, she's willing to offer 30 customized Facebook posting that she can line up for you, and all you have to do is post it one after another.
I actually posted on their behalf as well. And what these 30 posts can do is it can be a template for your future posts. So if you want to take over the Facebook service after that, you're more than willing to handle that, but at least you have a guideline instead of just trying to guess what should go on Facebook. You don't want to just put something that's not relevant, or maybe that's not going to convert a patient. So we have to focus a little bit on sales. So and increasing revenue. So I can help you with this free social media setup on all 3 of the outlets that we discussed, and set you up, like you mentioned, with a 30 Facebook post. But most importantly, get you up to date with your website, make sure it's mobile friendly, and really just beat your competition. That's the truth.
Perfect. Thank you, Tasha.
So thank you.
We'll be here as long as we need to answer any question that people have. Please feel free.
Absolutely.
I don't see any questions so far, so it's amazing. Tasha, it looks like you covered it, but you will still hang out.
Well, it's a lot of information, so we go over it very quickly, and So I hope it's not overwhelming to you, but we just really wanted to give you 5 clear steps to follow and give you the opportunity to have something to refer back to. But yeah, so I am more than willing to go over anything in more detail. If you just want to contact me at that phone number, you can call me and ask me a specific question. I'd love to answer it for you, and even give you a complimentary marketing forecast. And what that is I will give you 3 months of an outline for your practice in particular, so that you really know what steps you need to take, whether it's fixing the website, whether the website's perfect, which is great, then you will be ready to go on to the next step. So don't hesitate to call or email me, reach out to me. I'd love to give you this free resource to help you with your marketing strategy, because they say that 10% of practices that actually engage with new marketing strategies, it will yield a 20% increase in patient revenues. So there is a return here. It's not just, you're not just doing it for branding, you're doing it for increased revenue. So just a little bit of effort can go a long way. So I'd love to help you with that, and I'm clearly very passionate about this industry, the medical industry, and so I'd love to help you further.
And I just recall one thing about the patient retention that I wanted to add it. Take a patient survey. A lot of times, we use that best practice here at Computex City, that even with any of our existing clients, of course, they have my phone number, my email address. Whenever they have good compliments for our text, they send me an email. Or if they have a complaint, they send me an email too. But after every service that we do, we send out a survey.
Right.
Because being an owner, even in a doctor's office, being a doctor, we are good at what we do, and we can only know what we do, what sector of the patient flow we do, but we don't know what kind of experience patient is having on the checking or checkout or with billing or anything else. So it would be a good idea to do the surveys at the end of a day or of a month. We know that where in our practice we need to improve on.
Right. Sometimes we're a little overconfident.
Exactly.
We may think, oh, the website looks great, but are you really reading the content and saying, oh, we're in the industry, so we know the content, we know the business. But for someone that this is going to be a first-time procedure, or they've never gone to this type of surgeon before, they don't know. They need clear and good from another perspective, and say, if I didn't know this industry, would this website work? Also, look at your competition. Most of them have probably updated since maybe you have. So see if they have some kind of functionality that you don't, that you want. Don't get left behind. So whether it's an interactive, scanning bone scan, or you can upload before and after photos and see what you would look like with an anti-aging treatment. So don't be afraid to try some new interaction with the software and technology that's out there.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah. No questions yet, huh?
Looks like we're going to call it an early lunch then.
Oh,
thank you
okay.
everyone for joining us. Of course, we are recording this webinar, so we'll be putting on our website very soon in case if you miss anything. You have Tasha's email address, contact phone number. You can reach her anytime. Yes. But you can always reach us for any other beyond question that we have. We have a lot of other CTC events that are lined up, which will be posted on our website, and you will get emails very soon. And I have invited Tasha again in, I think, mid-January. The dates are not final. But she's going to be talking about most important question that even after doing all this marketing, our online reputation is just like how the credit score that we have for our social security numbers and personal identity. We have completely different identity on the website. So she's going to be talking about that how to maintain it, how to keep the good score on it, and if something happens, how to go back and fix it.
How to suppress the negative. Exactly. So, we know how important it is. So if there's a negative online out there that's sort of haunting you, we'll be showing you how to make it not as relevant and to bring the positive to the forefront to make sure that patients aren't scared of coming to your practice because of one one bad review. So we'll be touching that in the new year.
So just look out for our email. Thank you very much.
Thank you
guys
so
have a
much.
wonderful afternoon and have a good weekend. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.